Okay guys, now let's go to task number 3, which is database. You are now going to prepare some reports. Examine the file J2321 results.csv and identify the most appropriate field to set as a primary key. Close this file. Now, guys, when they ask you to examine the file, it means that you have to open the file, have a look, and try to understand the data types that it has to be included for each field, and then try to figure out which field is the most appropriate field to choose it as a primary key. Now I'm just going to make a refresh for your information about the data types and the primary key rules. About the data types, guys, remember that any field which contains characters only, or mix between characters and numbers, or mix between characters, numbers, and other special symbols, we choose the text field, or the text data type for this field, okay? It's going to be short text. We usually choose short text. Now, if we're talking about pure numbers, I mean with pure numbers, numbers that does not contain any other special characters, or if I'm talking about numbers that we are going to make calculations on this field, then we are going to choose the data type number. Okay, and there are 3 or 4 types of numbers. We're going to talk about it later on during our videos. And if we are talking about field that contains numbers which are related to any type of currency, then we are going to choose the data type currency. For the fields that contains yes or no, and anything related to this type of information, we're going to choose Boolean. And any field which contains dates or times, we're going to change the data type into date or time. Okay? This is just a refreshment, very fast refreshment to know how to figure out the data types for each field. Now, about the primary key, remember guys that we have 2 rules in order to choose our primary key field for the table. First one, it has to be unique, so no repetition. This value, it has to be unique within the column, no repetition. And the other rule is that the field contains no null values, no empty values, okay? It has to be all full of data, and at the same time, each record in this field, it has to include a unique data different than the other one. Okay, so these are the 2 rules for choosing the primary key field. Now let's go to the file. I'm going to open the file results as they mentioned in the question paper. And when you open it, guys, please make sure to make all the columns visible. I mean by making all the columns visible, it means that you highlight the corner. I'm going to show you now when the file opens to select the whole columns in this sheet, and then we're going to double click between any 2 columns in order to make the fit size for each one. Okay, after we open the file, I'm sorry, it takes a while to open. As I said before, we're going to highlight by selecting the whole sheet from the top left corner, and then double click between any 2 columns. It will give you the fit size for each column in this table. Okay, now guys, for the start code, we can figure out that it has mix of characters and numbers, so it's going to be short text. This one is going to be short text. This one is going to be short text. This one is race number. If I'm not going to use any calculations on this field, then I'm going to choose it as a short text field. Okay, but we have pure numbers here. I know we have pure numbers here, but the most appropriate data type to choose it is short text, because there are no calculations which will be done on this field. That's why we choose it as a short text, okay? Anyway, you double check the whole fields to figure out what are the data types for each one. But they mentioned mainly in the question to know which one it has to be the appropriate field in order to make it as a primary key field. Okay, usually, guys, the primary key field, it can be something related to a number, something related to a code, something related to a reference, something related to, for example, barcodes, anything related to these words. Usually it's the primary key field. So now if I have a look at the titles of these fields, I just can figure out that maybe race number or cat code, it will be the primary key field. So I have two options. Now we need to figure out which one is the most appropriate. If I have a fast look at these two columns, we can figure out that there are no duplicate values here, but in this field, on the other hand, it has a duplicate values. Really? Yes. C7, C7, C5, C5. We were talking in a while that the rules of the primary key, one of them, no repetition. It has to include unique values. So this field is not the primary key field for this table, sorry, okay? This is not the primary key for this table. But this one is the primary key. Okay, now if one of the students will tell me, teacher, I just cannot, I cannot figure out that much easily if we have a repetition in this field or not. Is there any another way to figure out if it has a unique values? Yes, there is. Now, if I'm talking about the race number, we can highlight the values of the race number field. When you finish highlighting the values, you just go to the conditional formatting from the home ribbon. This is the home ribbon. Go to the conditional formatting and highlight cell rules where it is or where it has duplicates. Okay? If I press OK and no red color appears, it means there are no duplicate values. So this is the most appropriate field to be a primary key field. Okay? On the other hand, if I highlighted these values from this field to try to figure out if it works or not as a primary key field, and if I go to home, then conditional formatting, find duplicates, we can see that it will give us too many red colors. See? Which means this is not the primary key field for this table. So this is how we figure out how to know which one is the most appropriate field to be as a primary key field for this table. Now I'm going to close the file without saving because we already noticed that race number will be the primary key field for the table. Okay, I'm going to go back to the question paper. Using database software, import the file j2321results.csv. The most appropriate software that we are going to use for now is Access. Access is one of the database applications that we can use. I'm going to click once on blank database in order to save my file in my supporting file just in case anything happened during the exam or during solving the paper. Just in case, guys, save it. No need to change the name, just save it, okay? And then create or click on create button. No need for this empty table, just close it without saving because we are going to import a new field or sorry, a new table from supporting files, from the supporting files, okay? Okay. We go back to the question paper. They told us to import this file, so I'm going to click on external data, new data source, from file, text file. Text file, it means because .csv is one of the files that are related to the text file family, so that's why I'm going to choose text file, okay? If you remember, it stands for comma separated value file. So we deal with it as a text file. Click on browse and then from the desktop search for the supporting files, choose the file results and then press OK. Now step number 1, we do nothing, skip. Step number 2, we choose first row contains field names so that these values in the first row will be the field names. So click on first row contains field names. Next, step number 3 is the most important step because here we have to change the data types for each field as they mention in the question paper. Now they told us to change these data types for each field. So I'm going to click on advanced and then we are going to compare each one of these data types with the one they gave us in the question paper. The first 3, they have to be text, which means short text. It's correct. Now this one is number. But if you read carefully on the right side, it says 0 decimal places. 0 decimal places, it means integer or long integer number. And because the values are no more than 4 digits, that's why we're going to choose integer instead of long integer. Only for the long numbers we choose long integer, guys, okay? Okay, 0 decimal places, it means no decimal places. So we're going to change it to integer. No need to keep it as long integer because, or sorry, we have to keep it as long integer here because it contains 4 digits and more. When it contains 4 digits and more, we prefer to keep it as long integer, okay? I didn't look carefully. So be careful, guys. If we have only 1 number, 2 number, 3 numbers, you can make it integer. But 4 numbers and more, just keep it as long integer field. 2 short text, which is correct. Number, the 0 decimal places. Also the year of birth, it's 4 digits, so I'm going to keep it as long integer because it's 0 decimal places. Date or time, it's date with time the same. Short text, and the last 2, it's also going to be long integer, it's fine because no decimal places. And after that, we press on next. In this step, step number 4, they are asking if there is a primary key field. Yes. They told us to set the identified field as a primary key, and we already figured out that race number is going to be the primary key field for this table. So I'm going to choose my own primary key, which is race number, and then click on next. Remove any extra numbers, characters at the beginning. Keep it as a real name, results, okay? I'm going to mention this why in the other videos. Then we will click on the finish button, and this is how we import a new file to our database. No need to save the import steps, just click on close. Guys, please be careful. If you have 2 tables, one of them is considered as error import and the other one is results, for example, please make sure to delete both of them and do it again. The whole step, the import step, do it again. There is one of the data types or more which will be inappropriate data type, that you didn't change it carefully, okay? So be careful, okay? You're supposed to have only 1 table, not 2, when you are done, I mean, for the input steps. Now, when we are done, make sure that we are not done with the import step 100% because we still have something that we need to change in the formatting. For example, the date or time field, it has to be HHMMSS. 0 decimal places, there is nothing to change. We only need to change the format of the time. So I'm going to right click on the results, go to the design view and click on the field which contains the time. It was race time. Okay, so I'm going to click on race time field. And then we are going to write in the format HHMMSS. Don't worry about changing or converting the M into N's because M, it stands for the minutes. And, in the computer, M, it stands for month. So that's why they change it into N characters. So don't worry about it, guys. Okay, it's fine. Just keep it as it is. This is how we change the format of the time to HHMMSS. When we are done, we're going to save. I clicked Ctrl S in order to save. They asked us to place in your evidence document screenshot showing the field names, data types, and primary key used in the table. In order to take this screenshot, guys, we only need to take a screenshot for this section. No need to take for the formatting. It will be corrected later on from the report. So I'm going to click on Windows Shift S and starting from the name of the table, including the primary key field, the field names, and the data types, we are going to take the screenshot in this way, okay? And I'm gonna go back to the same file which we were working on for the evidence document for this paper and paste it in the appropriate step. Okay, which is step 15, paste. Now, when we are done with the table, please close everything when you are done with it on Access so that no errors would appear suddenly. Okay. I go back to the question paper. They told us to import another file, which is J2321 start times as a new table in the database. The same way, external data, new data source from file, text file, browse, and then we're going to bring the file or pick the file, which is start times. Okay, step number 1, we do nothing. Step number 2, first row contains field names. Step number 3, we go to advanced, and then we double check the data types. It has to be all short text. The last one, it has to be date with time, which is correct. Next, choose my own primary key, which is They told us to set group code as a primary key field. So I'm going to choose group code. Next, and remove any extra numbers, characters at the beginning. Keep it as a real name, start times. Close. Do I have to go to the design view for this table? Yes, we have to go because we have to change the format of the time. So right click on the table, go to the design view, choose start time field, and then write down the format that they mentioned in the question, HHMMSS. Save the table. Do we need to take a screenshot? Yes. So we're going to take the screenshot the same way as we did before. Okay. It's in a new step. Yes, step 16. We go to step 16. You can just remove this sentence to the other page. Okay. Now we're going to import the third table in this paper. Okay. We go back. We close this table when we are done. External data, new data source from file, text file, browse, and then we choose the appropriate table. All right, which is codes. Okay, step number 1, we do nothing. Step number 2, first row contains field name. Step number 3, set all the data types to text. They mentioned this in the question, guys. Be careful. They didn't give us a table like the step or the previous step. They just told us in the question to set all the data types to text. So make sure that you go to advanced and you choose all the data types short text. Okay. Next, do we have a primary key? Yes, it's cat code. So choose my own primary key, which is cat code. Next, and then we are going to delete the first characters and numbers to make it a real name. No need to go to the design view for this table because there is nothing to change in the format. Okay, I'm just going to go to the design view just in order to take the evidence, the screenshot, as they mentioned in the question. We're going to do it the same as we did before. We go to the evidence document and we paste it in step 17. Okay, now we are done with the import. If I go back to the question paper, they are asking to create one-to-many relationships as links between group code field in the start times table and the start code field in the results table. Now I'm gonna close the table, go to the database tools, click on relationships and add the 3 tables. After adding the 3 tables, guys, just try to make sure all the fields will appear on the screen. So you need to stretch this or increase the width or the height, sorry, of the table of the list in order to see the whole fields. Okay. Now, first relationship, it's going to be between group code and start code. Where is group code and where is the start code? This is group code. And the start code, it's in the results table. We just drag drop. No matter if you drag drop from the right to the left or from the left to the right. Both of them are the same. Drag drop both fields on each other and then click on create. The cat code field in the cat codes table with the cat code field in the results table. This is the cat code. Drag drop and put it on the cat code here from the results table and then press on create. When you are done, they are going to ask you to take a screenshot for the relationships. So I'm going to take a screenshot for the relationships in this way. When you are done, close, save, and paste the evidence in step number 18, evidence. Okay. Now let's go to the second part. Okay. Add the following as a new record in the results table. If I need to add a new record, guys, we're just going to double click on the table, which is results table. And you have at the bottom of the screen, you have an arrow with a small yellow star. It means, or it stands for adding a new blank record. I'm going to click on it. It will open a new blank record and we will start typing the new field data. Okay, I'm going to take them as a copy paste so that it's going to be faster. Okay, just a while, please. Okay, let's remove the highlighter from here. Now I'm gonna copy and paste each value in the appropriate field. Guys, please don't forget, it's case sensitive. you have to write the capital letters as capital letters, small letters as small letters, please, okay? Because any mistake, you will lose the whole mark. Okay, now it's C5, 1992, and let's take the race time, copy paste, okay, fin, 12268. Okay, when you are done, you're gonna save, and then you're gonna close the table. No need for it anymore. It's gonna be saved in somewhere, okay? Don't worry about it. Let's start with this question. This question, guys, is the most important part in the database task. Using fields from the results and start times tables, produce tabular report. When you hear that you are going to produce a report, it means that you are going to create a query first, and then we're going to produce the report. So in this or in these types of questions, guys, be careful that you have to create query first, and then when you are done, you have to save the query and create a report for this query. Don't go immediately to create the report. It's totally wrong, okay? You have to create the query first. When you save it and you are done with it, you're going to create the report depending on this query. Now, in order to know which steps are related to the query step and which steps are related to the report step, whenever you read the word select the records where, this is the criteria. This is the query step. This is my criteria, okay? This is the query step. Whenever you hear selects the records where. And there is another step, we're going to mention it later on. If we hear it too, it's going to be a query step, okay? Now, in order to start with a query, I prefer to go to create query design, okay? Some guys prefer to go to query wizard. It's fine. Both of them are correct. Don't worry about it. I'm going to choose the tables, which is results and start times. Double click on results, double click on start times to add them. Increase the height of the table so that all the fields are visible. And then, before I start selecting the criteria or writing down the criteria that they mentioned in the question, you have to start with the first step, which is shows only the fields, blah, 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 blah. Okay? I'm going to start, always, guys, always start with this step, showing the fields, blah, blah, blah. Okay? And they have to be in order. When you start with this step, it means that we are going to select the appropriate fields that they mentioned. Double click on group code so that it will be added. And then we are going to choose last name, first name, year of birth, last name, first name, year of birth. Then we're going to choose status, and we're going to choose race time. This is the race time. And then we're going to choose event rank. This is the last one, event rank, in this order. Okay? So this is the first step that you start when you are creating your query. You have to select the appropriate fields. When you are done with the appropriate fields, you're going to write down the criteria. This is the question which is related to the criteria. They are asking you to select the records where group code is HC00. Is, it means, guys, equal. Whenever you hear the word is, it means you can just add equal sign, or you just can write it immediately with no signs. Okay, this is what it means with is. So I'm going to go to the group code. This is the criteria box of group code, and I'm going to write HC00 immediately, or you can add equal sign and write beside it HC00. This is what is stands for in the criteria. Year of birth is 1975 or later. Is, it means equal sign. Exactly. What about or later? Later, it means greater than. So guys, whenever you hear is or later, it means greater than or equal. So we go to the year of birth. This is the year of birth criteria. And we write down greater than or equal, because this is what it means with is or later. Greater than or equal 1975. Okay? This is how we add the criteria. This is what we mean by is or later. When you are done, you have to double check that your work is 100 accurate. So you click on run, and you can find out that the results are somehow is fine. It's 32 results, 32 records, sorry, okay, which is fine. Usually the report is maximum or contains maximum 3 pages. So if the results are 0, there's something wrong in our criteria. And if the results are in hundreds, it means that there is something wrong in our criteria. So you have to double check your work, please, okay? Make sure that the records are in a reasonable number, which is 32. 32 is fine. When you are done, no other steps will be related to the query. Just click on close. Do you want to save? Yes. Keep it as the same name and just click on OK. Now we're going to switch to the second step, which is how to create or how to produce the report for this query. If I need to produce the report of this query, we're going to select the query and then go to create, choose the report wizard. Now add the whole fields because it's already organized in the way they asked in the question paper. Next, make sure that you do not group. See, guys, they always tell you do not group the data. Do not group the data. It means if you see as the screen layout, it will be as blocks. The fields will appear as blocks. You have to remove it. How am I supposed to remove it in order to not group the fields or the data? Just click the other table. It will be removed. Okay, this is how we ignore the grouping of the data. Next, do you want to group? No, thank you. Next, do you want to sort? Yes, I want to sort because they mentioned in the question paper that we need to sort, but I'm not going to use it from here. I'm not going to apply it from here because if you apply it from here, the order of the fields will be changed again. Okay, so that's why I'm going to skip this step from here. Next, now they are asking if you need to change the orientation. Has a page orientation of portrait? Yes, there is orientation, which is portrait. Next, now here you can just change the name of the report title. Find out which step includes the report title. It's this one. So I'm going to copy and paste the title, okay? Copy and paste it right here. You guys are not going to copy and paste in the exam. You're just going to type the title using the keyboard. So just be careful for the capital letters and small letters. Now we are not done with the report. So I'm going to click on modify and choose finish. When I go to the design view of the report, we need to change or we need to apply the other points that we didn't apply before. If I go back, we didn't make the sort step, right? They asked us to sort the data into descending order of YUB. If I need to add a sort, guys, just remember that 99% we're going to work from here, from the design ribbon. So just look at this ribbon. If you need to add any extra details on your report, this is going to be helpful for you so that you cannot search from every ribbon and take a lot of time. 99% of our work is going to be from the design ribbon. Click on group and sort in order to apply a sort, and then add a sort. They asked you to add a sort depending on the YOB field, and they told us to make it descending. No need to memorize which one is ascending and which one is descending, guys. The default order is going to be ascending. So if they are asking you to just order it in descending order, you only change it from largest to smallest. If they are asking you to change it in ascending order, just keep it as it is, okay? Because the default order is ascending. Done? So no need to memorize them. We're done with the sort. I'm going to close it. Now, fits on a single page. This step, usually students does not like it at all. Okay, don't like it at all. Why? Because it's sometimes tough to make it all visible and make it all fit to the report. But I'm going to show you a very easy way in order to fit the columns within the width of the page, or within the fit, to fit the columns within the width of the report, sorry, okay? It's going to be an easy way. Now, first of all, we're going to highlight only these two sections, okay? Only these two sections, the page header section and the details section. Highlight them with its all boxes included in these two sections. Go to arrange, click on tabular, okay? Now, every single data will be visible, but it's still not fit within one page, as they mentioned in the question. We need to fit it on a single page. So I'm going to click on Design again, go to View, choose Layout View, and now start to increase and decrease the width of each column so that it fits the grid line here. Okay? Because this is the width of the page. It has to be fit a little bit before this grid line. Okay? I'm going to start with the first column, and the second column we need to increase it to, or decrease it. Make sure always to double check which is the most appropriate size for each field. Sometimes you have long data in one of the records, so be careful. And these fields we already decrease the width because the data is too short. No need to continue because all the data now it fits within the column width or the page width, sorry. Okay? This is how we fit to a single page. Okay. Now we go back to the design view in order to finish the rest of the steps. Includes the title. We already added the title from the wizard of the report when we were creating the report. But here in the step they mentioned to display it in a larger font size, fully visible. Just click once on the box, go to the format, increase the size. 26 is going to be enough, guys. But make sure it's visible. So increase the width and the height of the title box so that its characters are all visible. Okay. Calculate the number of database records shown in this report and places this at the end of the report fully visible, formatted to 0 decimal places. Calculate the number of database records. We are just going to calculate the number of the records, which means that we are going to count. Okay? So 95%, guys, 95%, not 100%, be careful. 95%, the word calculate the number, it means count, okay? 95%. Some cases it's not count, it's sum. But 95%, the number of, it means we are going to use the count function. I need to count how many records do we have and place it at the end of the report. They didn't mention below which field, so it's fine. You can choose any one of these fields in order to count the records of the database. I'm going to use a very easy way. Just click on the field, which is last name, for example. Any field, it's going to be all right in order to count the records. And then choose from totals, click on count records. It will be calculated automatically. This is how we calculate the number of the records of the database. When you are done, it's automatically 0 decimal places because it's a last name. So for sure there are no decimal places for this field. Now they mentioned in the other step, has the label number of cyclists fully visible to the left of this value. I'm going to choose label from the controls, draw it on the left side, and just add the text they mentioned in the question, which is number of cyclists. Okay, this is how we add a text box to the left side of the calculation. Okay, finally, has your name, center number, candidate number on the report. They didn't mention, guys, is it in the header section or in the footer section? So it's up to you. You can just add it in the header section or footer section. But please be careful. When they ask you to add your details on the report, it means you have two choices. You can add it in the report header section or in the report footer section. But if they are telling you to add it on every page so that it appears on every page in the report, so you have to add it in the page header section or in the page footer section. Okay? Just be careful, guys, when you read the question. Read it very carefully. On the report, it means choose any section you need. Report header or footer, both of them are correct. I'm going to choose a label from the controls, draw it in the header section, and then I'm going to write my details in this section. Okay? When we are done, we're going to just have a look in the print preview to make sure that the whole data is visible, everything is correct, no mistakes, and to make sure that it only fits on a single page. This is not a single page, guys. These are 2 pages, and they asked in the question paper that we have to add it in a single page, or to appear the whole records on a single page, not single page wide. Okay, there's a big difference between single page and single page wide. Single page, it means the report has to appear on 1 page. Single page wide, it means the report has to appear on a single page wide, but no matter if it is more pages in tall. Okay, how am I supposed to fix this problem to make it on a single page? You go back to the design view and you are going to decrease the height of the row as much as you can. How? I'm going to highlight the whole fields in the page header section, and from the keyboard keys up and down, or from the mouse, you can just drag them at the top. Okay, then I'm going to decrease the width of this section. Repeat this step for the details. Highlight the fields and then drag them at the top, then decrease the width of this section as much as you can. Go back to the print preview in order to find out if it is already on 1 page. Yes, it is on 1 page. This is how we know, guys. It's only on a 1 page. It appears on a single page. So in this step, be careful. Many students, they don't know that they have to fix it on a single page, so that when we print it out, we have to make it as a single page, not more than 1 page. This is how we make it. Hope everything is clear, guys. Okay, now they told us to place in your evidence document screenshot showing the database formula used to calculate the number of cyclists. I'm going back to the design view. This is the calculation that we used in order to show them in the screenshot that we used the count function. But if the number of cyclists text box is not clear 100%, please, guys, just change the alignment for a while. We will redo it again as it was, just in order to take the evidence to make it clear. Okay, I'm going to decrease the box of the calculation, and then we are going to take a screenshot for this calculation. This section is more than enough. You can just take a screenshot for this section and add it in step number 20. Okay, this is how we take the screenshot. Now when we are done, we're going back to the print preview, and then if everything is okay, we are going to print the report out. This is how we make or create the report. Hope everything is clear. Thank you. Okay, guys, now let's move to step number 21. Using fields from the results and cat codes tables, you need to produce a tabular report. So as we said before, that when they ask us to produce a report, we're going to create a query first. So the first step in order to create a query, it's shows only the fields blah blah. Okay, we're gonna start with this step. So if I go back to the database, we click on create query design, and then we add both tables as they mentioned in the question paper. It will be results and cat codes and results tables. Show the whole fields, make them visible, and then start adding the appropriate fields as they mentioned in the question. Okay, we need the race number. Double click on it, and we need first name, last name, cat rank. First name, last name, cat rank. Okay, and then we need the club name, category, club name, category, where is it? Okay, and then the status, and finally time per kilometer. Okay, now as for the time per kilometer, guys, as you can see in the previous step, they asked us to add a new field which contains calculated field at runtime, and this field will be named time per kilometer. So if I keep searching for this field in these 2 tables, we cannot find it. Why? Because I'm going to add this field on the query, and now we're going to mention how to add a calculated field on a query. Okay, this is the second step that we already do in the query when they mention it in the question. So I'm going to add the last field, and then we're going to switch to make this field, which is the calculated field, before the race time. But at the moment, I'm going to add the race time field. So this is the race time field. And now we will go back to the first bullet, which says, selects the records where club name includes the text power. Guys, please be careful. The word is, as we mentioned before, it means we're going to write the text as it is, or we're going to write the text after adding the equal sign. But the word includes, it means that we're going to write this text between two stars. Okay? So this is the difference between is and includes. Is, it means equal, for example, power. But includes, it means a star, power, star, because we need to find any text which includes this word, power. So we need to add it between two stars. We're going to go to the field which is club name. This is the club name field. In the criteria box, we're going to write star. Okay. Then power, and then we close the star. Automatically, the word like and the double quotations will be added, so don't worry about it. They will add it automatically. But please be careful, the difference between is and includes. It's very important, okay? Is, it means equal, or you add the text as it is, but includes, it means you have to put the word between two stars. All right. The other criteria, it was telling us that the status does not include DNF or DNS. DNF, DNS, both of them are on the status field, okay? So if I go to the status field here and I just put the cursor in the criteria box, does not, it means we are going to write this symbol, which is less than, greater than. It means does not, okay? And sometimes you can use the word not, no problem. But usually we can just use this word or this symbol. Less than and greater than. It stands for the word does not. They told us does not contain DNF or does not include DNF. So I'm going to write DNF. Okay. Now we're not going to write the word or. We are going to switch it to the word and. Why did we switch it to the word and? Because, guys, these two options are on the same field. DNF, DNS are on the same field. That's why we don't write the word or. Even if they mention it in the question, we don't add it. We just add the word and. So instead of or, I'm going to say, don't give me any option which includes the letters DNF, and don't give me any option which includes the letter or the letters DNS. So that's why we switched from the word or to the word and. Okay, just be careful. We don't write the word or. It will not work here, okay? You have to switch it because we are choosing two options from the same field. So I'm going to switch it to the word and then does not. Again, we write does not, which is the symbol less than, greater than, and then we write DNS as they mentioned in the question paper. And now we click enter. This is the whole criteria that they asked for in the step. So I'm going to click on run and just make sure that the results are correct and you have appropriate number of records, which is 45. It's fair enough, as we mentioned before in the first report, okay? When you are done, we go back to the design view because we still have a new step which is included in the query steps. Contains a new field called time per kilometer, which is calculated at runtime. Guys, the word calculated at runtime, it means this is a new field that you are going to create in the query and it will not appear in the table. It will just only appear in the query, okay? So be careful that this is the meaning of calculated at runtime. I'm going to find a blank field. This is a blank one, a new one. And I'm going to write the word time underscore per underscore kilometer as they mentioned. Time underscore per underscore kilometer. Immediately, guys, after the title of the field, you're going to add colon. It's not equal sign, it's colon, okay? After adding colon, now we are going to read the step very carefully and very slowly. This field will calculate the race time. Okay, now you're gonna stop. Race time is the field already in the table. Because it is written in italic way, if you just recognize that it is written italic, okay? So you're gonna figure out that this is a field in the table. So because it's a field in the table, we have to write it between squared brackets, okay? Because it's a field in a table, we have to write it between squared brackets. I'm gonna open a squared bracket, and then I'm gonna write race underscore time, as they mentioned. And then, time. I'm gonna close the squared bracket, okay? After finishing the first part, they told us divided by. Divided by, it means a slash. We're going to write the division symbol from the keyboard. Divided by the race distance of 50 kilometers. Guys, race distance, it's not a field. Number one, it's not written in italic words or characters. And number two, 50 is a number. It's not a field in the table, it's a number. So because it's a number, I'm just going to write it as it is, 50, with no kilometers, because we are going to divide number by number, so we don't write kilometers, okay? So I'm going to divide it by 50. This is how we create the new calculated field. Done? When we are done, they told us to format this field to display it as HHMMSS. First of all, guys, before we format it, just click on run. Make sure that it worked. For sure, it will give you hashtags because we didn't change the format of this field yet, so don't worry about it. Just make sure it worked, no errors. And then I'm going to go back to the design view, click on the field. When you click on this field, you just go to the property sheet. This is how we change the format of this field. And in the format box, we're going to write HHMMSS as they mentioned in the question paper. And then we close it, okay? And don't forget, guys, that we need to switch between race time and time per kilometer. Because time per kilometer, it has to be, race time, it has to be the last field. So we need to switch between them, all right? Don't forget it, please. So I'm going to highlight the whole field and then drag, drop. This is how we switch between two fields to change the position of them, all right? Now, when we are done, we click run again, just to double check everything is working properly. And when we are done with the query, as usual, we save, we close, and then we select the query, go to create, report wizard, and start creating the report depending on the rest of the steps. Step number one, we will move the whole fields. Next, if they mention in the question, do not group, usually they do not group the data. See, there is no blocks, so they are not grouped, which is correct. Just skip it. And then, do you want to group? No, thank you. I don't want to group. Do you want to sort? Yes, but not from here as usual. I told you before that we are not going to sort it from here so that we do not change or switch the order of the fields. So I'm going to skip it from here. Do we have orientation? Yes, we do. Has a page orientation landscape. So I'm going to choose landscape. And then the last step, we can just remove this title and add the appropriate title which they mention in the question paper. We need to add Power Club results. I'm just gonna copy and paste to be faster. In the exam, you have to write it by your own. And then we click on modify, finish. Okay, we go back to the question paper and we just have a look what steps we skipped in order to do them again. Sorts the data into ascending order of club name. Sorts the data into ascending order. It means that we're going to click on a group and sort, add a sort as usual, and then we choose club name. Ascending, remember I told you guys, by default it is ascending, just don't change it. If they mentioned you have to change it in descending order, then you just switch. But because they mentioned ascending, just keep it as it is, because the default is ascending. And ascending order of cat rank. So we're going to choose add a sort again, and choose cat rank. Keep it as it is because they mentioned in the question that it has to be in ascending order. This is how we do the sort step. Fits a single page wide. This time they just told you to fit on single page wide, not a single page, okay? Single page, it means one page. Single page wide, it means all the columns, they have to appear on one page, but Records, they may appear on two, 3, or 4 pages, whatever. It's okay. We just need the whole columns to appear on one page, not the whole records. Okay, this is the difference between fits a single page wide or fits on a single page. Okay, in order to make the fit, as we mentioned before, go to arrange, we have to highlight both sections first, which is page header and details. This is the most easier way to make the fit. And then go to arrange, click on tabular. All the fields will be visible, but it's not fit to a single page wide. We need to go to the design, select from the view, layout view, and we need to increase and decrease the column width in order to make it visible and fit within the column width. Now the first one, we just can decrease it a little bit because the title is long, and the first name we can decrease it, also the last name, cat rank. Now about the club name, we have to, I think, increase it, maybe, just we have a look, yes, at the bottom, see, these records are a little bit long. So that's why we need to increase the width of this column. Be careful, guys, okay? Sometimes the longest record or the data of the record will be at the bottom so that you cannot figure it out easily. Category, we can just decrease it and decrease the rest. Okay, whenever you find out that they are inside this grid line, it means that they fit within the page. So no need to continue, okay, guys? Just make sure everything is visible. Every single record is visible. Every single title is visible too. Okay, when you are done, you just go back to the design view in order to see if I still have steps that I need to do. Okay, include only the title Power Club results displayed in a larger font size, fully visible at the top of the page. I already added the title, but I need to make it in a larger font size. So I told you before, if you want to choose 26, it's going to be fair enough, but make sure that it is visible. So you have to increase the box a little bit so that it is visible. And when we are done, has your name, center, number, and candidate number in the footer of the report so it appears in the same position on every page. Guys, they mentioned 2 points here. They mentioned that it has to appear, the details has to appear in the footer of the report and on every page. 2 points. Footer, it means page footer or report footer. Okay? But because they told us that it has to appear on every page on the report, so it means we will add these details on the page footer. We will add them on the page footer. No need to remove these 2 boxes. They didn't mention in the question paper to add only your details so that it will appear on every page. When they mention this question, add only, then you have to delete these 2 boxes, which is the date and the page numbers of the report. But they didn't mention this here. So you can keep it as it is. Just go to the design, add the label control, draw it right here, and add your details as usual, okay? And that's it. When we are done, I told you before, just have a look in the print preview. If everything is okay, all the data is visible, no problems, double check the pages that you're going to print out, because sometimes some students will do the criteria in a wrong way, and that's why they will get 20, 16, 18 pages in the report. This is not allowed. Be careful, guys. You're not allowed to print these pages. Okay, I know that you just can't print them out in the external exams, but be careful. You need to solve this problem before you print it out, okay? The problem mainly will be in the criteria of the query. So you just double check the number of pages from here. It's not from here, guys. It's not when you read page number 1, it means this is only a report which contains 1 page. No, you just have to navigate between these buttons to know how many pages you're going to print out in this report. 2 pages, 3 pages are fair enough. When you are done, you just click on print, and that's it. This is the end of this task. Finally, they told us to place in the evidence document screenshot showing the database search criteria used to select the records where the status does not include DNF or DNS. They just need you guys to take a screenshot of the criteria that has been written in the query, okay? So I'm going to go back to the query and let me close this report. Right click, design view, make sure that the criteria, the whole criteria is visible. If not, just increase the column width so that it's visible, and then take a screenshot to the criteria. You just can take it in this way, or guys, you just can take this box. Okay, both of them are correct, don't worry. And put it in your evidence document. Just paste it here. They will check the criteria from here, okay? You just can take this box, or you can take the whole screen. And that's it for the database task. Thank you very much for listening, guys.